Bull Trading here. So just chatting about basically just the upcoming possible pending market crash, and or we're gonna have oh yeah, no, keep it this way. I have a bad habit of looking at the camera like this, sorry. So essentially what we're looking at is the potential for another market crash. So this is 2021, we're over here in May. What we're looking at is the potential for the housing market to continue spiking as it did back in the '08 crash. You know, houses are just getting ridiculously expensive, right? It's great for people selling, you know, the equity is wonderful. But you know, for the folks that are buying, I mean, depending how much equity they move, or if they're new home buyers, I mean, maybe they'll get some great tax benefits, etc. But it's going to be a very, very interesting, you know, run. The stock market, on the other hand, is just stupendous with this amazing printing bull market. Fed's pumping. Everybody's buying. All these COVID folks staying home, buying just everything they can. Not COVID people that have COVID, but I mean people who are not working or just still collecting unemployment, or still, you know, getting, you know, maybe they're on leave from work still, maybe they cashed out their retirements, whatever the case. Just all the possibility that's occurring. Excuse me. You know, what I'm looking at is SPY just keeps going and going and going. That's the S&P Mini, it's S&P 500 Mini, and just keeps going and going. It's at 423, I think it is right now, futures wise, if you know, just subtract and do the math there. So it's getting really great. I'm only in one stock. It's InfoBird. I'm not pumping it. I'm just saying that's what I'm in. It's a Chinese stock. It's software as a service. That's the only thing I have money in right now. I did put a little bit into Shiba Inu coin. I used Bitmart to get it, along with SafeMoon. Finally went ahead and dove in a little bit of that one. So that's the only two cryptos I'm in right now. I told y'all Ethereum was coming. It was going to push up pretty hard, and it certainly is. It's at, I want to say maybe it broke 4,000 tonight, or it got really close to it. Yeah, so as far as crypto crypto has been following the stock market from, in my standpoint of view, in my eyes, what I see. Like when SPY did a quick correction a few weeks back, Bitcoin did exactly the same move, like to the minute, right? S&P drop, Bitcoin drop right there at the same time. So with that being said, I'm looking at the standpoint that, okay, crypto is following the stock market, and it has been. Now, on the other hand, the markets continue to pump, as well as cryptos. Dogecoin was at 75 cents, Saturday Night Live. The first joke off the rip with Elon's mom was pretty funny. And sure enough, Dogecoin, as soon as she said, I hope it's not Dogecoin, just started going down and down and down. I think it settled at 48 a while ago, maybe right there in the 50s, but it was a support that needed to be hit anyway. And with that being said, I have one Dogecoin, I think, just to watch it. I think I put it on Robinhood. So Shiba coin, or Shiba Inu coin, or whatever, I kind of read their little description of what they want to do. So far, it's not a huge project. Back to Dogecoin real quick. I don't think Coinbase will ever add them. They said they wouldn't in the past because they don't represent any kind of project. So Shiba doesn't necessarily directly say it's a joke. So maybe they do have some sort of, you know, plausible scenario. They can produce some sort of real value. SafeMoon is also speculative. So throw a little bit of money at it, just let it ride, see what happens. I'm currently up 100% just since yesterday, but you know, it is what it is. Things change very often, very quickly in crypto. I would say people are trying to use it as somewhat of a market hedge. I don't think it's going to be hedged completely and allow you to, you know, really save face when it comes to the market, because eventually people are going to sell crypto as well. I know a couple of folks who have been trading a lot of crypto recently and have already broken $1 million. Sadly, that wasn't me. I actually quit trading crypto for a while after 2018 just because the tax laws were changed. So be very careful with the taxes, because they definitely changed, and they definitely are coming for you if you made a crap ton of money. I don't know how you would get it out of your wallets anyway. If you got loopholes to get out of the crypto taxes, maybe drop it in the comment section, like and subscribe if you like this video. I know it seems kind of boring because I'm in the car talking. Um, I'll be having some webinars popping up and some other trade talk on my whiteboard coming soon here. Just trying to find some time to get it really put together. Still gonna be cell phone videos because I didn't buy any cameras for that. So, but back to the housing, man. Housing is just getting out of hand, and the only reference point I see is the same way it was back in '08. Everybody was running to buy houses just before that. Gold prices shot up, and it's just like, wow, you know. And sure enough, um, not too long after that, '08 started diving, and '09, I think September was just the final, just shoo. So speeded up to 2020, March, COVID hits, blast the market off. All these CEOs started stepping down, you know, and that was kind of crazy to watch that, or read about it rather. And then all of a sudden the market crashes February all the way to March 13th. March 13th was the lowest day. SPY dropped to 218 and then rebounded very, very quickly, right? So now what the difference was, you had the government jumping in to bail the market out, pumping money. And then on top of that, you had all these people now who aren't working. So now they're trying to find money, how they can make money, etc. And well, stocks are at all-time lows for a very decent amount of time, you know, probably 8-9 years worth, and they're at all-time lows. So people started buying, and people just kept buying and buying and buying. And I mean, I bought too, you know. So it's like a lot of people cashed out their 401ks and stuff like that because they didn't have to worry about the early penalties. A lot of people retired early. A lot of that stuff happened in a lot of different places. So with that being said, we're in a very similar situation, in my opinion, based on the housing market, you know, because it's just like the prices just continue to inflate, right? You got $200,000 house 5 years ago, same house now is $500,000. You know, land value didn't really change much. The population hasn't really changed much density wise, as far as, you know, I guess median income for the communities, in my opinion. But I guess there is a lot of people who are making more money doing different things these days, especially people who figure out how to work from home, or they trade, or they invested in crypto and made a lot of money in like Dogecoin, or some of the other cryptos. Just since 2019, these tons of coins have been 500% gainers. And again, I sold a lot of my stuff in June of 19, so I missed the boat right when it started running up, and just I didn't get back in it because I was doing my options and stocks and everything, you know, and teaching folks at Armor Bull Trading, you know, how to trade. And you know, so it's been a really fun ride just to kind of watch everything, you know. And it's still a learning phase, right? So I would say nobody really knows trading or knows the market at all really at any point, but you can get a much better understanding and maybe a 10-year period around, you know, to where you can kind of decipher some certain things that occur. And so far, from 2020 to now, '08 crash didn't affect me really. I was still young, you know, single, no house, no major job career, you know, just doing stuff here small. But after that, I mean, this is, you know, 12 years later. So it's like, it's a very interesting, you know, time that we're in my opinion. So anybody can throw money in right now, mostly cryptocurrency, and this is not trading advice or anything, not financial advice either. Anybody can throw money into the market, and with this bull market that just continues to go, now stocks have been kind of settling down and kind of declining as SPY continues to go up for no real good reason. You know, and so that's a trigger to me to see SPYs continuing to push up. Stocks are starting to level off. That's when the crash happened in March. Stocks started slowly leveling off. Everything was at all-time highs, and you had a little bit of dip. We had the 1 year marker on March this year, 2021, to where the chart was identical, and which I think was a setup for a huge bull move, which happened. You know, it happened right there around the I think it was 389 or 390 mark. The chart's actually in my new book. It's funny. And I was like, by the time you read this book, SPY made history and broke 400. And it very well did. SPY again is now at 423, I think, and some change. I have a long put to, I think, 300 or 325 for later this year, along with UPS put. Again, not trading advice. Back to 180, some huge gaps on there to fill. And to me, I think this is setting up a perfect scenario for a nice move down or drop, And crypto is just going wild right now. It's so euphoric. Like, you're talking people putting in $1,000, walking away with $1 million. Like, it's ludicrous. And I didn't think we were going to get these opportunities again after 2017, 18, but crypto dropped to all-time lows after the fact. you know from that year point on to 2019. Everything in January 19 was dirt cheap. 2018 was fairly cheap, but then it started just continuing to decline. 2019, right around March, the prices started to shift. And I really wanted to get in again and kind of start putting money back into crypto. I started making a little portfolio, and then I ended up changing back, pulling it all out in June, with options. And shortly after that, sure enough, crypto ran again. Um, so I think it's going to be a very interesting. I'm always hedging. I at least have one SPY put always on the trigger, whether it's June or December, September, January 2022, whichever. Crypto, I have again a little bit. I would not put my money in Bitcoin, because if it does follow the stock market, it's going to drop just as fast, just as hard. And like, to me, I don't think that the altcoins on the low level, like the ones that are micro pennies, I don't think people are gonna feel obligated to pull out of those like they would Bitcoin or Ethereum, or Litecoin or things like that. I mean, like, Binance coin went from 19 cents back in 2017 November to now $650 a coin. Hindsight's always 2020, right? But if you can take the same aspect and you have easier access to these trading platforms now, especially crypto. Now, of course, remember the IRS is watching somehow or another. So if you're sending money back to Coinbase, etc., I think if you send back the same thing that you sent out, I think that's probably how they try to monitor the capital gain factor, because of how much you're sending back. And maybe tax on a weekly or monthly basis. I don't know how they're going to track that. Supposedly there's new crypto tax rules and forms for this year, 2021. So I haven't filled that out or anything. So we'll see what happens. Don't elude those taxes, because if they come back to bite you, it's going to be nasty. Even if you make $1 million, that's a lot of, you can probably assume you'll pay 50% in taxes. That's not guaranteed. I'm just saying. So somebody out there's got to know a loophole. Like I said, I'm an InfoBird, Shiba Coin, or SHIB, SHIB, however you want to pronounce it, and because it's a Doge killer is what all these TikTok folks are saying. And SafeMoon, just because 8 million of those, 16 million of Shiba. If it ever gets to where Dogecoin is, like, and it could happen, like if there's a plan and PayPal were to induct them into I'm sorry, not PayPal, Coinbase was to induct them onto Coinbase, the prices would illuminate so fast. Like, once it got near the penny mark, I mean, even at the current holding I have, that's 160K, right? If you if you put it where Doge is, I mean, that's $8 million, like 12 million dollars roughly, I'm sorry. Like, there's no question, I'm cashing that out immediately. Even if it went higher than that, that would be amazing. I mean, I think honestly, if it was going to go higher than that, like Shibcoin, if it got put on Coinbase, perfect world. Say it gets inducted into, say, Robinhood and Webull and all these other places, everybody's trading it and using it. It gets adopted somehow, like Dogecoin does in this scenario. I feel like it could easily, like, if Dogecoin breaks $1, what's to say it can't go to $10 or $15 or $25? Now, will it ever get to what Ethereum or Bitcoin is? I personally highly doubt it, but anything is possible, especially in this new age market we're in. And that's the nickname I have for it, is new age market, because based on, if you watch my videos on the 2020 crash, and I made a pretty accurate video, I think, of what was coming at that point, and it's like, it's just going to keep going down and down and down. But instead of it continuing down, we had this massive move reversal up, and even some large traders, put huge bets on SPY continuing down at the money puts, and they lost $100,000, $150,000 just on that short-term wrong bet. And sure enough, SPY just kept on pulling up. And now it blew past 340 was the high, and in March 2020, and then now, I'm sorry, February 2020. was the high, and then now it's at 423. So getting really close to that $100 gainer, per SPY share, and it's like just crazy, like it's a very interesting time we're in. So I would say join Armor Bull Trading. It's Investopedia.com is a huge help as far as research goes. If you have questions directly that you want answered that pertain to specific things like Greeks or what is an option, things like that, my books cover all the basics. Very good. The two most recent books I put out, debit spreads and calendar spreads, and why I don't trade or why not to trade credit spreads, along with real options that win, and it's just, those two books are really well put together. I've already had a lot of people buy them and give me great compliments on them, and several of them use them daily, when they're trading, because I got charts and stuff in there too, and different candle breakdowns and things like that. So, and the best part is I'm not charging you $50 for a book, that even though it is printed and it looks professional, I'm not sending you an email for an ebook to, hey, print it out yourself for $50. You can get it on Amazon, right? Go to Amazon, look up Armor Bull Trading, the Fishhook Trader, or either of those titles with my name, James Nash, and you can pull it up right there. And I'm the author of the books. I mean, you're gonna know my name regardless, so I don't mind saying it on my YouTube channel. So with that being said, trade smart, trade safe, trade armored, right? On Bonfire funds, I'll drop the link down in the video if I post this as a video, and I will post the link. And so the end of May, end of this month, I'm doing a $50 giveaway for anybody who buys a shirt from Bonfire, and it's just easier that way because it's free to set up. You don't have to buy any materials or anything like that. I'm not investing in buying a bunch of like shirts and hats and trying to sell it all for profit and all. I'm not drop shipping or anything. I don't do that kind of thing. I feel like, to me, that takes a lot of my time. Now when I get employees and stuff down the road, yeah, sure, I might do all that stuff. Or maybe my kids, when they get older, maybe they'll enjoy it. But $50 giveaway. So if you buy one shirt, you're entered in the giveaway with, say 10, 20, 50 people. You might win $50, right? And then therefore you get the shirt for free. So along with that, like I said, all my books, the most expensive one is $9.99. I've got all the prices super chopped right now. They're all super cheap. All of them are less than $10. There's 6 books. Worst case scenario, you drop $60 and you get all 6 of these books. Cash covered puts, covered calls, and the 2 I just mentioned, real options that win, mastering debit spreads and calendar spreads, and options for beginners. And my very first book was the Fishhook Trader Options Basics. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video. I know it wasn't, super technically informative for like indicators and markers of why the market's gonna crash, etc., etc. It's more just chatting about it and really just kind of unfolding a little bit of my thoughts on the situation, because protect yourself on both sides, right? So, okay, say, strangles are really great tools if you have the money to buy them, because you're buying both sides, so it's not helping you, it's not discounting the position at all, like a debit spread or a calendar spread or anything. And with that being said, so say you buy, an at-the-money call and an at-the-money put, for a year from now or 7 months from now or something like that, that gives you a long enough expiration, but it's going to get a little pricey, right? So maybe $20 out of the money or off the money at the current strike could be a better setup for that. That's going to give you a nice window. It'll decrease the cost just a little bit, but if you get a huge move in one direction, which chances are it's going to be the downside, or if your downside is losing money and then you start making money on the up, you could always take the profit on the upside because you bought the position, so you can just sell it right off and separate it. Now you have one put by itself naked, and then you can go from there, create a debit spread out of it, and it's like, this is free information I'm giving, it's all in the book. But do yourself a favor and trade smart. Don't just buy naked options on short expirations constantly. Maybe you make some money, maybe you'll lose some money. I personally, naked option trading, unless you're scalping very swiftly, potentially swing trading certain positions, You always have an option to hedge it, and nobody teaches you that. All these people teach you how to trade like 5 minutes, and they're showing you freaking $30,000 returns. But if you look at the percentage that they have on that $30,000 return, it gives you a percentage, and that percentage you just multiply, and you find out how large the position that they just made this 30% on, or $30,000, I mean. And sometimes that position is $200,000. Okay, so for people with small accounts and starting off trading and stuff like that, looking at people who trade those very large positions, they're buying in the money or dead at the money positions, and they might buy a few days out, they might buy a week out, they might buy the day low and try to push it up off a support line, and those things work, and that's great. But when you're trading short expirations, when you're new to trading, I promise you there is a very, very high probability you're going to lose money more often than you'll make money, because you have no protection in the position. If you wait too long, you're not watching it, you're not scalping, you're not day trading very quickly, and you have no stop losses set or things like that. The moment it reverses and theta kicks in, implied volatility hits you again, and your Greeks just kill the option altogether, because now the probability of you being in the money at expiration is low, or what's a good word? Just depleting altogether, right? So with that being said, trade smart. Get my books. Like I don't make any money off these books. It's like 10 cents profit on the price they're at right now per each book. All I want to do is help spread the information, spread the knowledge. I've been trading for about 4 years actively now, almost about 3.5-ish to 4. And with that being said, it's like I've scattered every subject of naked positions to strangles, straddles, debit spreads, calendar spreads, credit spreads, iron condors for a very short amount of time. And some of them are great, some of them don't work at all. Earnings can almost never be beat unless you're buying long expirations against the earnings bet, right? If you buy at the money naked options, whether you think it's going to go up or down, it's going to take a large move for you to be, even if you're $5 or $10 in the money on some stocks, you'll still lose money on the IV crush that occurs on the option, right? And implied volatility crush is just a massive theta bomb, right, that hits right then, because the earnings move is expecting, say you got 200% IV, and or 400% IV, and it's not, once it happens, it's done, right? So like I bought AMC for earnings the other day. I bought Strangle for like $7, so I bought 10 of them, and sure enough, the next day IV crushed. They didn't move at all, and all that happened was the stock just stayed the same essentially. It went up like 40 cents the next day, to 9.45-ish or so. It didn't jump to $50 a share, no crazy stuff. The squeeze hasn't happened yet, but it also didn't drop to 4 or 3 or 2 or nothing like that. So the 12 and 8 strangle, $12 call, $8 put, didn't do anything for me. The position went to basically zero because it was a one-day expiration. I do that on a rare occasion just because there's a potential for, if there's a lot of hype or speculation on something, I might do that. So in that situation, that's what you look for. And with that being said, trade smart, trade safe, trade armor. How do I stop this guy?